For my first 2020 favorites video, instead of just sitting and talking about the products and holding them up to the camera, I thought we could just do a chill and chatty get ready with me video where I talk you through the products as I put them on my face. There are certain categories where I don't particularly have any favorites, and then there are certain categories where I have multiple favorites really. First, we're gonna start with prepping my face really. I just recently got this Klairs Fundamental Watery Oil. I'm kind of obsessed with it because it's amazing. My skin is oily most of the year, but in winter time it gets a little bit drier, like a little more dehydrated. So I just glanced in the mirror and my skin is already glowing a little bit now. So we are going to start with my first favorite of the year. I actually have just one base makeup favorite, and it is this foundation that I got at the start of the year from Lakme. This is the new 925 Primer Plus Matte Foundation. Well, it's not new anymore, but it was new at the start of the year, and I did a whole like separate video review on it. It works for most seasons and it works on most skin types, I think. Only severely oily skin, if you have like how my skin gets in the summer, that time I would need to powder it a little bit, but otherwise it's actually pretty amazing. Gives pretty good coverage and a really nice satiny finish. So I'm getting to the end of my first bottle, but you guys can bet that I already have a replacement lined up. So the brush that I'm going to use to blend this foundation is definitely another favorite, the Real Technique Square foundation brush. I got it as part of one of their base makeup sets. I didn't think I could like anything more than the buffing brush, but I actually really like this. It's denser than the buffing brush, but because the bristles are nicely packed and it has this sort of sharp shape, it helps you get more targeted than the buffing brush would, because that's like way fluffier and has a bigger head. In the year 2020, I pretty much gave up concealer for whatever reason. I just didn't feel like it was that necessary. This foundation did more than enough for me. So I didn't really cover my blemishes, neither did I use under eye concealer. And that's just such a shame because I have a lot of concealer. So now we're going to do eye makeup, and I'm not really a big eyeshadow person, but I used more eyeshadow in the year 2020 than I have in my entire life before that. That's still not a lot of eyeshadow, but it is a big increase. Two of my favorite little palettes to use this year are from Maybelline. They're these City Mini palettes. I've had this one for a while. It's called Graffiti Pop. And then I got this one earlier in the year, and it's called Fifth Avenue Sunset. I really like the super compact sizes on these. The shades are wonderful. I love the brighter shades in this, and Fifth Avenue Sunset is a little bit more of like warm terracotta nudes. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, kind of focusing the color more in the crease. Just putting one eyeshadow also on the lids can really sort of elevate the look, and I like how 2020 eyeshadow colors kind of went more diffused and muted and messy, and you don't have to worry about it being super precise. It's just like this soft wash of color. Now I'm going to put another product on, which is sort of a liquid eyeshadow, but this is more of an eyeshadow topper. It is from Etude House, and it's one of their Mirrorholic shades. To me, it's almost like a party in a tube. It's got this white base that doesn't really show up that much on your lids, and then it's got a lot of light colored iridescent glitter. I'm just gonna top the lids a little bit with it and just spread it with my finger. Now that my eyeshadow is on, it's time to go in with a little bit of liquid liner. I actually have two liner favorites for this year. That is my Maybelline Hyper Glossy Liquid Liner, of course, because this has been my consistent favorite since pretty much forever. I love this. It's a black liner with a glossy finish. But one new addition this year has been this L'Oreal Matte Signature eyeliner. I'm not a big fan of the matte finish, but I love this brown shade because I think it looks amazing, and it's just like a lot more subtle than black. Today I think I'm just gonna go with my trusty black liner only, and I'm gonna try for a subtle wing. So I feel like the secret with black liquid liner that nobody really talks about is that for most of us, when we put on black liquid liner, we are relinquishing some control. Unless of course you are a makeup artist or someone with incredibly steady hands. I know I'm not, and when I start to do my liner, I usually have an intention for how I want it to go, but it never goes exactly like that, and you know, you just have to hope that it ends up kind of okay. And I'm fairly satisfied with how today's liner looks, although I know that when I'm editing this video and I look at my eyes, it look very uneven to me. But now when I'm looking in a mirror, this is fine, this is good. Now it's time for our next step, featuring my next favorite item, mascara. This is from L'Oreal. This is the Lash Paradise mascara. This one is a bit of a begrudging favorite really, because I like the way that this mascara looks on my lashes quite a bit, but it is a waterproof mascara, so it is like a real pain to remove. On the whole, mascaras are not easy to remove, they require a little bit of extra attention, but this one is particularly bad, and it kind of sucks that we don't have the washable variant available in India, the non-waterproof one. I feel like L'Oreal and Maybelline are really dropping the ball with launches like that in India, because earlier like their mascaras used to have both options available, and now they just only launched the waterproof one, and we should be happy with that apparently, because waterproof is supposed to be better. But trust me, waterproof is not always better. Like, if you are planning to go out in the rain or you want to look cute at a water park or something, then you know, go ahead, wear waterproof mascara. But on a day-to-day basis, a normal washable one is just better and safer. So it kind of sucks that I can't buy the washable one. The brush on this is pretty fantastic though, and it really gives intense separation, and it coats your lashes nicely. If you do too many coats, you can end up with like spidery lashes, but that's okay, I think. So for my next step now, I'm going to be doing my brows, and this is one category where I had multiple favorites last year, but I don't really have any new favorites this year, because I think I've changed the way that I do my brows a bit in 2020. In the past few years, I have been doing them a little bit extra dark and like a little attention grabbing. That's just the way I was enjoying doing it, but this year I have gone to doing a slightly more subtle brow. I still don't really groom my brows too much. I just take out hair from the center, and I've started shortening the ends a little bit. Hopefully this is not something that I come to regret in the next few years, but you know, I just shave off the tail slightly because the ends of my brows were super scanty anyway, and I feel like this is a much sharper finish when I just end the brow a little bit earlier. And I really enjoy using brow waxes. I have not tried the soap brow thing yet. I feel like if I did, I would probably like soap brows, but this is this really old product I have from Tweezerman. I'm not even sure if it's still around, but it's just a really waxy pencil, and I like the waxiness for the hold, plus it does have some pigment also, so that's amazing. Just using a spoolie to brush upwards, and I have a little bit of that glitter topper eyeshadow in my brows also, which actually is quite nice. Once I have it in a shape that I kind of like, I just gently press it down a little bit, because I did mention it was waxy, right? So pressing it down helps. You can see the difference, a done brow and an undone one. So today's eye makeup is done, and now it's time to move on to our cheeks, and I have 3 cheek favorites this year. All 3 of them are blushes, and this is such a big shift from all of the years prior when I used to rarely use blush, and I was someone who much preferred bronzer, but I think blush was a big 2020 trend and I just kind of embraced it. So I have 2 cream blushes. These are from Flower Beauty, and I have 1 powder blush. This is from L'Oreal. It's going to be tough to choose what to wear today, but the 2 Flower Beauty blush bombs that I have, one of them is called Melon, which is this really beautiful coral color. It looks really natural once it's put on your cheeks and applied and blended. Then I also have Bitten, which is this richer crimson kind of shade. This one is just very pigmented, so you have to go so slowly with this. If you do it wrong, it can look like you have cheek inflammation or something. These cream blushes tend to look more natural than powder blush, so it doesn't really look like you've applied a product. It kind of looks like you're actually getting flushed cheeks from the inside. We're gonna go in with Bitten right now, and I'm not gonna lie, I am super nervous at this step, but it doesn't set too fast, so you have a little time to blend. I just think I ended up putting a little bit more on my right cheek, so I'm going to add just a touch more on the left. I think this looks fairly cute and nice. When I look in the mirror, it always looks a little bit more vibrant, but then I know it never actually comes off that vibrant on camera. And the powder blush favorite that I have to share from this year is from L'Oreal, and it's called Be Fierce. So one little secret, if you feel like your blush disappears by the end of the day, you guys can layer blushes. You can do a little bit of cream underneath and a little bit of powder on top. So that's what I'm gonna try today. It might wholly end up looking like too much blush, but you know, we're going for it. So you guys see what I mean? That this is a really similar shade. This is obviously too much blush though, but we're gonna blend it out, and it won't look this bright. Could kind of leave it like this for a somewhat matte finish, but I'm actually going to be putting a little bit of highlighter on top. I wouldn't really consider this one of my 2020 favorites because I haven't used this too much, but this is a Colourpop highlighting. It is this really pretty champagne with little veins of coral going through it. So just a little bit of this on top of the blush is really going to make it pop. And I like that this highlighter is not like too shimmery or too pigmented, so you don't have to worry that you're accidentally going to pick up too much the first time. And you can keep building it up a little bit also. So the only step that really remains now is lip color. And I remember at the end of last year when I was doing 2019 favorites, I was sad that I basically defaulted to like 3 lip colors. Well, this year it's even less, and I feel like I just have 2 lip colors that I wore so much this year, while the rest of my lipstick drawer just kind of stared at me in anger. The 2 shades that I absolutely loved are both from the same range. They are from Colourpop. They are from their Luxe Velvet Lipstick collection. I did swatches and a review video of this collection also at the start of the year, and these 2 shades were just perfect for me. We have Daily Dose, which is a little bit of like an everyday orangey red, and then there's Lucky Cat. Love the name, but this is a really beautiful pink color, but I feel like it kind of goes with pretty much any makeup. And I love the formula of these because it's not matte, but it's really satiny, and it's got this like powdery, pillowy finish. I'm just gonna wear Lucky Cat today. So one thing that I loved doing a lot, I probably shouldn't talk while I'm doing this, but one thing that I loved was applying this on my lips and then just gently blotting it out with my fingers. So this is pretty much my favorite way to wear this lip color, and I like this finish because even if I end up eating and drinking and forgetting to reapply this, it would just kind of fade really naturally, and it doesn't look that weird as it fades. I think it's pretty mask friendly also. You might get a little bit of transfer onto the mask. And one product I'd like to give an honorable mention to is this roller lip gloss from Colourpop. They have quite a few fragrances, or you could say flavors, because they are all like very edible variants, and the one that I have is called Tangerine Dream. I love this because it's a non-sticky gloss. It's very moisturizing. Since it's with a roller ball, not only is there a strong nostalgia factor, but it's also just extremely cooling to apply. However, lip glosses might not be that mask friendly because obviously they stay a little bit wet. So I just put a little bit towards the center of my lips, which is a nice trick with any lip gloss really. It just makes your lips look more interesting, but they're not completely dripping with gloss. So now that my makeup is completely done, it's time to deal with this hair. So 2020 was the year in which I majorly ditched heat from my hair routine, and I started styling it naturally by scrunching it with the help of gel. And I did do a video earlier on this year, so if you'd like a more detailed explanation of like how to stop using heat and how to transition into using gel and all of that stuff, I would really recommend watching that video. But if you guys have seen that, or you already have an idea of how to style your hair naturally, then you know, just keep watching here, because I am gonna take this back to last night, which is when I washed my hair. I'm someone who just prefers washing my hair evening or nighttime. I don't really do it in the morning ever. So I love styling my hair at night, and as soon as I get out of the shower and my hair is like pretty much dripping wet, the first thing I do is I take my hair cream and I take my hair gel. The hair cream is not particularly a favorite because I've gone through many different hair creams this year and they all do the trick, but none of them has really wowed me. This hair gel by Orata is something I swear by and something I wouldn't be able to live without anymore. So I just take the cream and take the gel, and then I kind of just rake it through my entire hair pretty generously. When I filmed my last hair video, a lot of you guys were intimidated by the amount of gel that I use, and the fact of the matter is I have started using a lot less gel. However, when I was filming this bit last night, I just got nervous that I wasn't using enough gel and I ended up applying more. You guys know your hair better and you can definitely use a little less gel also, and feel free to experiment. After I've raked the hair cream and gel through my hair, I will either go in with this tweezerman hairbrush or I'll use this cellulose acetate comb. Both of them really do the trick. The tweezerman hairbrush is really nice but a little bit expensive, so if you can afford it and you've been thinking of buying it, you know, go for it. I watched many video reviews before I bought it, and I think it's a really nice hairbrush, but also it's not life-changing and you can get similar results with even a comb really. So I did my hair last night with a comb. I just kind of made a parting and comb through my hair nicely. At this step I kind of do get some hair in my hands also, and it may look like I'm having more hair fall, but remember that I don't touch a comb to my hair any other time. Like after it's washed and after it's dried, I never comb it, and so whenever you comb it you will get some hair fall, and that's completely natural. It's not like your hair is falling any more than usual, it's just that otherwise it would fall each time you were combing it, and now you're only doing that once per wash cycle. So once my hair is combed, I will just start scrunching. This is what scrunching looks like. Just go on scrunching all of your hair. Don't really be gentle, but don't be too rough either. You can kind of see your natural curl pattern form. This is what mine looks like. Your hair will probably be different because, you know, this just helps your hair get its natural shape. And then what you need to do is just leave this hair, like do not touch your hair while it's drying. So for me that takes 2.5 to 3 hours. For you it might take less or more depending on your weather, the thickness of your hair and all of that stuff. You can also choose to use a hair dryer and a diffuser to quicken this process. I don't mind though. I'll wash my hair in the late evening so that by the time I'm ready to go to sleep it's dry. When it's completely dry, it's very crunchy. You can actually hear the audible like crunching around your ears as you play with your hair. So then what I do is I put it up in a pineapple, and what you're doing is just gently taking all of your hair to the top of your head. And since my hair is short, a lot of the back hair actually does not reach the pineapple, which is no big deal. And don't pull your hair tight or anything because you don't want to break the curl pattern or you don't want to stretch out your curls. So you just want to like gently and lovingly pull your hair to the top of your head and secure it with a scrunchie. And this is something that will let your curls stay looking cute overnight even while you sleep. And yeah, back to right now. You guys can see still have the pineapple on my head. It's very messy. So I'm just going to open it. Be really gentle. Like gentle is pretty much the key word through most of this process. One of the downsides I think of styling my hair naturally is that I never really know exactly what my hair will look like, because sometimes it turns out really nice, sometimes it's just not as nice. Ooh. Look at all these waves. So now you want to gently make some sense of this hair and find a parting and just kind of lay it down a little bit. What I love about sleeping with a pineapple is earlier I was having issues with root volume also. As my hair dries, it would just be so stuck to my scalp at the top and I was not getting that lift. But as I'm sleeping with my hair on the top of my head, it's lifting my roots. So by the next day I don't really have that issue anymore, and now I just take this pointy edge of a parting comb and try to find a parting. My curls feel very nourished, they feel super glossy, they feel soft, and they're also very, very shiny. There's no crunchiness remaining of the gel, but the gel has done its job of giving my curls some definition and hold, and it has helped them dry into this beautiful shape. Otherwise, as it was drying, like the humidity would make it frizz up, but the gel protects your hair while it's drying. So that you kind of get results looking like this. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of hairspray. I do not use hairspray all of the time, especially not if I'm just gonna be at home and all of that. But if I want to be going out and I want these curls to stay good over a really long period of time, hairspray is just gonna help lock everything in a little bit and ensure that my curls don't open up. The hairspray that I'm using is the L'Oreal Elnet Satin Extra Strong Hold Hairspray. This recently launched in India, and now the small size is also easily available. This is absolutely a favorite for this year. I'm almost through with my small can, so get a big can if you use hairspray very regularly, but the small can is amazing if you don't use it that often, because you know it's cheaper and then you're saving your money and you're not wasting as much product. So I almost forgot about this part, but shout out to these two nail polishes that I bought earlier in the year from OPI. I also have another shade, but these two made it to my yearly favorites and I really like them. Of course, OPI is a little bit pricey, but the colors are beautiful and the quality is also really, really nice. I used to have a larger nail polish collection in the past, but then they just get dry and they don't last, so I prefer to spend a little bit more and buy maybe 2 or 3 nice polishes a year, and they will take me through the whole year and beyond. And now all that remains is for me to change into some cute clothes and go for a stroll in the garden, just so that I can get some nice footage to tie this get ready with me together.